Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Okay, Red Dead 2, they've been an update and they've done a new photo mode, the one that the PC gamers have had. So we're going to have a look at it here. We're not going to do anything like incredibly good photography wise, we're just going to run down what you can do. You pause the game and then you press the touchpad and then here we are. So first you have orbit and free cam. So orbit and free cam, like free cam is obviously you can move anywhere. Orbit means you're kind of stuck to the character and it changes the usage of L2 and R2 from the height or the zoom. So there we go, we just switched it. So we can kind of zoom in with L2 and R2 there. But you're limited with the orbit one, I would say. I'd say free is better if you want to go super wide. If you press up and down on the D-pad, you can kind of change the focal depth, which is kind of like focal, like distance, sorry. It's like zoom, it's like an artificial zoom. Left and right on the D-pad is the roll. Then, what have we got? We've got, so that was quite nice, we've got advanced settings. Okay, so advanced settings, we've got focal distance, so that's the kind of the positioning of where the focus will be. Focal distance and the blur strength. So the blur strength is kind of like f-stops if you're a photographer. So as you can see, you can kind of blur it quite nicely. So we want to focus on the main character and then we have a bit of a washed out background slightly. You can adjust exposure. Well, we can go down on the exposure. For some reason, we're not going back up. That's weird. Maybe that's a glitch. But up and down on the D-pad's exposure. Right on the D-pad locks it. And then that's it for this sort of menu. I'd say it's a very good look. Okay, we're in the last menu now. So we've got contrast. Contrast is on the right joystick. Up and down to change. Sorry, I just got to tweak this. Okay, so we've got contrast up and down on the right joystick. We've got left and right on the D-pad for filters, and then up and down on the D-pad is for the filter intensity. So the filters, I'd say, are quite nice. You've got a lot from the cutscenes and the loading screens, like lots of vintage. What I would say is play around with it because different settings will have different effects depending on the mood. But you don't necessarily have to have 100% intensity. You can bring it down just to tweak it. If you want to desaturate a little, just put the black and white filter on and just strip it down a bit. So that's really all the settings you've got. Obviously here just showing that we can zoom quite far out here. So you could do some nice panoramic shots, but yeah, so there's enough functionality. You've got no, like, you can't change brightness or the lights or the shadows much. No split toning options. You have the filters, but you don't have like very advanced settings, but it's you know, you've got enough here, I would say, to take some good shots. I mean, I'd say if you want to get better at photography in real life, you should use the old camera system in Red Dead because it simulates having a real camera. This is not really like real photography, this is more like creating a picture. And here, like you see, it's quite fun. I think I'll have to experiment this a bit more, but those are the basic settings. So you play around with them and see what you do. I'll do more videos on that at some point. So since recording this little section, I have had a little play around with it. And I've taken a bunch of photographs, so I'm going to show you them on the screen now. So sometimes you can't move the camera, like when you're doing a cutscene or you're doing a specific action. Like if you're in the middle of an animation, like your character's doing an animation that's a preset one, like sitting at the poker table or whatever, you can't move the camera. You can still take a picture, but you can't move it. But yeah, you've got some nice ones here in the saloon. You can use the guns. You can, you know, change the focal depth quite nicely to play around with things like that. What I would say is try things out. Try things with the gun, with melee combat, dynamite, Molotov cocktails, you know. And I'll do a few more tutorials on this once I've had a bit more of a play around with it. But these images you're looking at are just ones I've done. So yeah, I hope that kind of broke it down for you, just what you can do. Look forward to seeing what you guys and girls produce. So yeah, there you go, done. Very quick. Thank you very much for watching. Photography Gamer signing off. Goodbye.